All right, so foam roller yoga brick TheraBand handy, lying on your roller from head to tail. Take a few minutes here to breathe, to check in with your breath. And make sure that your props are within reach, just because once you're on the roller, it's so hard to find them without falling off, potentially. All right. So as you're taking a minute here to breathe, big breath in, big breath out. Noticing where you have access to your breath. And noticing where things maybe feel a little constricted or tight. And if you were just in rollout class, kind of checking back in with those places that you found some expansion in. And allowing your breath to do half of this work for you. You don't have to even move your body all that much, but you can if you want, kind of like move around and find your best access point, but that your breath is finding space from the inside out. Or at least exploring where you have space and then maybe where it's a little trickier. And big breath in, big breath out. One more inhale and exhale. And now we're going to start to mess with it a little bit. So I want you to really like ground into your big toe joint, spread out to that pinky toe. Feel the inner heel, feel the outer heel. Press down into your feetsies. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And then you're going to allow your pelvis to do a little bit of imprint, dragging your pubic bone towards your sternum. And like on a scale of 1 to 10, I want this to be like a 2. So like I could like really clench my butt and jam my low back into my roller, but I don't want you to do that. I just want you to do a gentle drag of your pubic bone and then let your sternum slide down to meet. And you might feel a little bit more stretch around those low ribs. Maybe take a few breaths there. Woo! Big breath in, big breath out. And then maintaining that little bit of baby imprint to help support your spine. We're going to let the right hip point drop a little down and around your roller. And take an inhale, exhale. Push into that right foot to bring your weight a little more evenly distributed on the roller. And then left is going to drop a little. And then push through that left foot. And you might feel your butt turn on a little bit. Not a butthole clench, but like the outside of your butt. And let's do once more. A little to the right. And back. And a little to the left. And back. And then we're going to try to keep the roller somewhere in between those two extremes that feels a little even, but it also might feel a little wonky if you had a lot of range of motion to drop to one side and not so much to the other. And so then finding balance might feel not quite normal. But trying to sort of explore a different balance point on the roller than maybe what you originally arrived with. So for me, I could drop through my left hip really easily, but my right hip has a lot more tightness. So I know that I need to find a little bit more support through my left side and allow that right side a little bit more space. I'm going to take a big breath in, big breath out. Keeping the lower half with as much support as you can. Float the arms out, fingertips to the sky, and let your shoulders really weight back down and around your roller. Now, if you were just in rollout class, we played with that protraction and retraction with the ball, and that's what we're going to do here again. So we're going to slide the arms up towards the ceiling so that the scapula wraps around the rib cage. And then I'm going to anchor the arm bone back into the socket and then squeeze my shoulder blades together. They're going to meet the roller. And for me, this is pretty sensational, right between my shoulder blades. And then find a little slide and glide of your scapula, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, and then pull back through something that feels kind of neutral-ish, and then squeeze the roller. So let's move through this protraction and retraction a few more times. You can keep it slow, or if you want to speed it up a little bit, you can. I would love for you to take a minute and see if you can check in with your butt. So as I've been doing my protraction and retraction, I suddenly started to clench my right butt cheek and it started to get real elevated away from my roller. So my roller is giving me a lot of really good feedback. I'm going to let my right butt relax and chill the F out. A little slide up, a little pull back through those shoulders. We're going to do 3 more. And back. And slide. And back. Last one. A little forward. And a little back. And then stay there. Let your shoulders squeeze that roller. And then check in and notice if you popped your boobs or your chest up to squeeze. See if you can keep dropping them back towards the roller. Keep squeezing. Check in with your feet. Check in with your tush. Just a little body scan with this effort. We're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just release the squeeze, but let your arm bones stay really weighted back around the roller. And then nice and slow, we're going to reach both arms overhead. Again, check in and notice if you lifted your ribs to find that overhead reach, or if you can keep the ribs making out with your roller. And then float them back up. And we're going to do that again. Reach overhead and back. And again for 3 and 2. Last time. Reach overhead and back. Big breath in, big breath out. Take the arms out to a T shape at your shoulder and then close that back up. Again, as you're moving the arms, maybe just do a little check-in. What's happening with your pelvis, with your ribs? How connected to the roller can we stay without getting lopsided? Big breath in, big breath out. Once more, little open and a little close. And take a big inhale, big exhale. Go ahead and float your hands down to the mat and maybe take your hands a little wide on the floor. And you can keep them a little active here. You can kind of reach through those fingertips, keep the hands engaged with the floor, and just be careful of the shoulder pulling down. So the wider your hands go, the easier it will be to allow your shoulders to stay down and around the roller versus that shoulder pulling forward towards your pelvis. And we're going to take a big breath in, big breath out. All right, so we're going to keep the left foot engaged with the floor. Big toe, baby toe, inner heel, outer heel. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to float the right leg up into tabletop. And then just check in and notice, I arched my back to get there. So I'm going to come back to those low ribs and that weighted sacrum. And take a big inhale, big exhale. We're going to lower the right leg towards the floor, maybe a little, maybe a lot, and then right back up into tabletop. And we're going to do it again for 2 and 3, 4. Check in with shoulders, 5 and 6. Inhale, exhale, lower the foot all the way down to the floor. Big breath in, big breath out. Big toe, baby toe, inner heel, outer heel through that right foot. Inhale, exhale, float the left leg up into tabletop and take a minute. How is this side different? What business do I like to do over here? Take a big inhale, big exhale, little toe taps on this left side. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and lower it all the way back down. Take a minute, release any tension that you've been building up, trying to like hold everything together. Big breath in, big breath out. And we come back of the skull, the back of the ribs, the back of the sacrum, trying to find some equality on the foam roller. You're going to keep your right hand on the mat, but float the left arm up, fingertips to the sky. Let that shoulder weight back down and around. Press into your left foot, maybe even pull your left heel towards your butt a little, energetically speaking, and then float your right leg back up into its tabletop. Big breath in, big breath out. Find that little bit of baby imprint, not a jam, not jamming, just a little bit of length. And then we're going to reach the right leg out as we reach the left arm overhead. And then we're going to close it up. And we're going to do it again for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, exhale. Lower the hand, lower the foot. Big breath in, big breath out. Float up that right arm as you press through those left fingertips. Press down through that right foot as you float that left leg up into tabletop. Big breath in, big breath out. We're going to reach the leg, reach the arm, and then close it back up. And again, for 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, exhale, lower the hand, lower the foot. Big breath in, big breath out. Maybe reach those arms overhead, wiggle out anything that got kind of sticky. And then grab your delightful TheraBand. So as I said, if it's in a loop, you can put it around your wrists. If it's not looped, then you can just put it around your hands. So I've got it kind of anchoring it with my thumbs, and it's around the back side of my hand. And then I've got something to press against as if it was looped, but I didn't have to tie a knot in it because I'm lazy. I don't want to have to work the knot out later, basically. All right. So back of the skull, the back of the ribs, the back of the sacrum, working those feet. Take a big breath in, big breath out. So fingertips are right over the eye line. We're going to let those arm bones weight into the shoulder. I'm not protracted up and I'm not retracting. I'm just letting my arm bone work into the back of my shoulder. And take a big breath in, big breath out. From here, you're going to press out a little bit on your band and then a little release. You're going to press wide. Imagine widening your collarbone, widening your scapula on your back. Little press, little release. We go again for 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Inhale, exhale. We're going to externally rotate the arm bone and the palms so they're looking at the wall behind us. Take a big inhale, big exhale. We're going to do the exact same thing. Find that weight through the back of the shoulder, press out on your band, and a little release. We go again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Inhale, exhale, press out a little bit on your band and reach the arms overhead. Watch your ribs. Don't let them flare. Reach them for your pelvis. So we're reaching in 2 directions at once, and then float the arms back up. Inhale, exhale. Weight through the shoulder, weight through those ribs, and then reach them overhead. Wrap your triceps towards each other and back. We go again for 3, 4, breathing, breathing. 5, last time. 6. We're going to hold it overhead and hold it here. Bend the elbows so the fingertips make their way towards the mat, and then straighten the elbows. Keep the ribs weighted. We go again. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead and bring those arms back and through. Let go of your band or take it off of your wrist. Float the arms back up, fingertips to the sky. Reach your arms overhead, out to the side, and down by your butt. So just arm circles. We're going to do it again for 2. Circle. 3. Circle. Keep your ribs weighted. 4. 2 more. 5. Last one. 6. Big breath in, big breath out. Inhale. Exhale, let your arms come all the way down by your butt. Move anything out of the way that you need to be able to come off of your roller. You can just rock to one side. Push the roller out from underneath you to land flat on your back. And take a minute to enjoy all of that delicious space that you just made. And take a big breath in and a big breath out. Through the back of the skull and the back of the ribs and the back of the sacrum. Oh, I could just take a nap. But we're not going to. So whenever you feel ready, you're going to grab your yoga brick and you're going to put it between your knees. And you're going to align your sitting bones roughly, or your heels roughly in line with your sitting bones, give or take. We're going to take a big breath in and a big breath out. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to play with that little baby imprint thing again. So we're just dragging the pubic bone towards the sternum. And what I want you to feel is more length in your back versus compression down into your lumbar. And if you want to, if you're like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, if you want to take a minute, I'll do it real quick in the camera. So inhale, exhale, a little bit of pubic bone lengthening towards my sternum, and my sternum comes to connect towards my pubic bone. And so now I feel a stretch in my back. Or I could do inhale, exhale, pubic bone, belly button pulls back, and then I'm jamming my lumbar into the floor. And then I'm not connecting through the abdominals. I'm just really clenching my butthole. You guys all know how I feel about that. All right, so big toe, baby toe, inner heel, outer heel, inhale. Exhale, we're gonna find just that little bit of baby imprint. So we're connecting our guts together. And when we do that, we're gonna sort of anchor our sitting bones into our hamstrings a little bit. Press into your feet, pull your heels towards your butt, and you should feel the back of your leg light up a little bit. We're gonna use that back of the leg and our butt as we press down into the floor, and that you can have a little squeeze on your brick if you want. And we're just gonna lift the tush up. And as that tush comes up, we're gonna sink the ribs down. So the ribs go down, the butt comes up, the pubic bone is dragging towards the sternum, yada, yada, yada. You might feel a stretch in your quad. If you feel anything in your low back, you need to drag that pubic bone a little bit more, and you can always lower out of your bridge. If your tops of your thighs are really tight, it's gonna make it really tricky to find all of the bits and pieces. So work where you need to work. Height is inconsequential. Inhale, exhale, pull your heels towards your butt. Pull, 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 pull. Maybe you even get a hamstring cramp. If so, good job. Your hamstrings are recruiting. Well done. Mission accomplished. Inhale, exhale, we're gonna lower down. All right, I know I talked too much during that bridge, so now I'm gonna shut up. Big toe, baby toe, inner heel, outer heel. Pull your heels towards your butt. Little bit of imprint. So we're pulling in two directions at once. We're pulling the guts up, and then we're pulling the butt towards the heels, and we're gonna lift. We lift back up into our bridge. Inhale, exhale, pull, 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 and we lower. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, we lift right back up. Check in with your shoulders. Inhale, exhale, we lower down. Big toe, baby toe, inner heel, outer heel, pull. Inhale, exhale, lower. Now I'm going to add in arms. Arms are going to come up, fingertips to the sky, shoulders weighted down into the floor. Inhale to prepare, exhale, lift your butt up, hold. Inhale, exhale. Reach your butt to your heels, reach your arms overhead, lower your tush down. Inhale, exhale. Push through your feet, lift your butt, lift your arms. Shoulders are weighted. Inhale, exhale. Push, pull, lower down. Inhale, exhale. Butt lifts, arms lift. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Inhale, exhale, lift it up. Inhale, exhale, lower it down. Last one like this. Inhale, exhale, lift it up. And hold it here. Big inhale, big exhale. We're going to lift up the right heel bone. And I want you to stay really weighted in your right foot, the ball of the foot. So you're not popped up onto the toes. Inhale, exhale, press your right heel down into the floor. And if the arms are too much, just bring them to your mat. Left heel is going to lift up. Inhale, exhale, push, press that heel down into the floor. And right, lift and lower. And left, lift and lower. And right, lift and lower. And left, lift and lower. And right, press. And left, press. And right, press. And left, press. Inhale, exhale, reach your butt to your feet. Reach your arms overhead and lower your butt all the way down to the mat. Beautiful. Bring your arms into goalposts and take a breath here. Big breath in. And big breath out. Extend your arms and bring them down by your side. Grab that yoga brick. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop out to the side. Sometimes what happens here is that this is when we take a really big arch in the spine to make the knees go lower. I want you to keep a little bit of baby imprint, just a gentle gathering your guts up and back. And take a big breath in, big breath out, and let those knees drop out. Maybe there's a stretch in here, maybe there isn't. Either way, it's changing the way your breath is moving in your pelvic floor. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more here. Inhale. Exhale. Go ahead and close the inner thighs up, feet back on the mat. Take your yoga brick and slide it underneath your sacrum. So make sure that it's really supporting your pelvis and your butt. It's not in your low back, okay? And again, big toe, baby toe, inner heel, outer heel. Check in with those ribs, back of the skull, back of the shoulders, all of the things. And take a big breath in, big breath out. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, we're going to bring one leg into tabletop, followed by the other. And then we're going to imagine, as if it were humanly possible, that the inner thigh is going to pull your leg bone back into your hip. And you might even internally rotate your femurs a little bit if that's possible for you. So you can see my feet are a little bit wider, just a hair. You might get kind of caught up in your superficial hip flexors if you're tight though. So like work where you need to work. And then we're gonna float the arms up, fingertips to the sky, shoulders are weighted back and down to the floor. And take a big inhale, big exhale. We're gonna kind of build on what we were doing on our foam roller. Inhale, exhale. Inner thighs are pulling you into the back of your hip. And then imagining that inner thigh lowering down to take your right foot towards the floor. And then back and up. And then the left side. And I'm cueing the inner thigh because for most people, we tend to be a little externally rotated and we lead with that outside hip. So I want you to think about the inside hip, right from that where your pubic bone is. We're going to alternate right and left, trying to keep our backs nice and stable. With the exhale, back of the skull, back of the ribs, back of the sacrum, and letting that inner thigh slide your leg a little forward and then pulling it back into your hip. And then if you feel like you've got the capacity to add on, we're going to move opposite arm as leg. And alternating sides. Use your exhale when it's tough. When you feel like you need a little bit more stabilization. Big inhale, big exhale. Once more each side, or until you feel even. And then we're gonna pause, check in, back of the skull, back of the ribs, back of the sacrum, inner thigh pulling your femurs into the back of your hip socket. And then we are gonna externally rotate and bring those feet towards each other, the heels together, toes can be apart. And we're gonna take a big breath in and a big breath out. And I want you to open your arms out to the side and then close them up. And again, a little open and a little close. And now we're going to add in the legs. So the legs are going to externally rotate a little deeper as we open the arms out to the side. And then as I close the arms, we're going to draw those inner thighs together and squeeze the inner thigh together. And then open and close. And open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Last one. And open and close. Big breath in, big breath out. Go ahead and float your arms down by your tush, but make sure that your shoulders are weighted back. They're not pulling down towards your pelvis. And take a big breath in, big breath out. Float the feet up a little bit. And we're going to keep playing with this inner thigh idea. And you're going to reach that right leg out towards a 45-ish degree angle and flex your foot. From your inner thigh line, as if that were humanly possible, we're going to lower the leg down only so far that you don't arch your back. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. And then you're going to lift it back up. We're going to do it again. And if you want to, put your hands on your guts. Use your hands to help you feel what the frick is going on. Little lift, little lower. We're looking for maybe even a stretch in the front of the hip. And back. 3 more. 3. And 2. And last time, reach through that inner thighs lengthening all the way down your mat and back up. Inhale, exhale, fold that knee in. Inhale, prepare, exhale, reach through that left side, inner thigh, under butt, lowering that leg down as far as it can go without compromising your spine. And everybody's going to be different, and your right side and your left side are going to be different. Little lower, little left. Little lower, little lift. 3 more. 3. And up. 2. And up. Last time. And 1. And up. And then bend that knee in. You could hug your knees into your chest and roll off of your brick, or you can take a bridge, whatever feels best for you. But get your pelvis off of that brick and take a minute down at the bottom. Do a little tuck and untuck. See how things may have changed. Or a little side to side. Ooh, feels better. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, whenever you feel ready, roll into your side and grab that delightful band. So I'm going to say go around the ball of your foot, give or take, and hold with your bottom hand. Again, give or take. If you have a loop that you're working with, then you could always put your hand through your loop and anchor with your arm like that. So that way your hand, like if holding things doesn't feel good to grip your hand like that, then you can have it through your forearm and you don't need to use your fingers. And then we're going to find our kind of 90 degree angles. And take a big breath in, big breath out. Put your hand on your hip. And I want you to hike your hip up towards your ribs. So you're going to shorten this space. And then I want you to reach your hip and make it longer. And there's a point as we lengthen where my knee wants to go with into that external rotation. And that's when I've probably over lengthened my hip. So we're going to keep playing, right? Because I've seen you guys all for a long time. So we're playing with more kind of like nuanced business. So I'm going to find that reach of my hip, but I also want to think about reaching my inner thigh. So if you were in rollout class, we were talking about the pin and drag and dragging the inner thigh meat that way. If I overly reach my top hip, then I'm not going to be able to get that internal rotation. We want to find a little bit of both. That's the annoying thing. It's like a little bit of internal and a little bit of external, which then puts you in perfect harmony. All right, so we're going to try to stack those shoulders and stack those ribs. We find a little bit of a hip reach, and we think about reaching the inner thigh at the same time, which actually spreads open our sitting bones without us having to alter our spine. And then we're going to find our hover. What? Yes. Big breath in, big breath out. We're going to lift up 2 more inches and back down just those 2 inches. And if you're still fussing with your alignment, that's okay, because we're going to do 10 of these. What? There's 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1 and hold. Take an inhale, exhale. We're going to reach that leg out long. Just like we were just on our backs, right? And we reached our legs out long. We're using our butt. We're reaching from that under butt. We're not altering our spine. We're reaching through the hip. And then we fold it back in. And again. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 2 more here. 7. Last one. 8. Hold. Take an inhale, exhale. We're going to externally rotate the leg, and we're going to bring the leg in external rotation. We're going to do 6 of these. 6. 5. Try to keep hold of your frame here. 4. 3. That inner thigh still pulls you back. 2. And 1. Beautiful, guys. Go ahead, come back to parallel. Bend your knee in, let go of the band for a minute. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Maybe pat the booty, maybe take a little rotation if that feels good. Take a big breath in, big breath out. We're gonna take this top leg and externally rotate it and bring the foot onto the mat. The band is inconsequential. You can keep it there if you want, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to extend your bottom leg out and maybe on a little hinge forward so that it's not straight behind you. It's on a little bit of an angle. And we're going to take a big inhale, big exhale. This might be a stretch. So if you need to mess with it a little bit so that it doesn't feel too crazy, feel free. And we're going to take this bottom leg and we're going to lift it up into a little hover. And then we're going to try to lift it up 2 more inches and then back down just to that hover. And again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, lift 10 and hold. Let's point the toe now. Big breath in, big breath out. We're going to do little circles. So it's going to come up and around. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go ahead and lower that down. You take your other leg and reach it long on top of that bottom leg. Again, I'm at a little bit of an angle towards the front of my mat. We're going to take an inhale, exhale, lift up both legs. And a little lower. And a little left. And a little lower. That exhale. We got 3 more. 3. And 2. 1 and hold it. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to scissor the legs. Little scissor. Little scissor. And scissor. And scissor. And 3. And 2. And 1. Now bring the bottom leg forward and take that top leg back, bend both knees and bring them to the mat. Good. Use your bottom hand to push yourself up to sit, and we're magically in our mermaid. Take a big breath in, big breath out, reach your arms out to the side. Take a big inhale, big exhale. We're going to come up and over. And I want you to keep trying to anchor down through this butt. It's not coming up. We're reaching the ribs up and away from that hip. Good. Inhale, exhale. We come through center and we take a little counter stretch. Big inhale, big exhale. We come back through center. We're going to come up and over. Now, when we take this top hand down, now your hip can rotate. Rotate around it. And take a big breath in, big breath out. Fold yourself forward as much as you want to. Try to wrap those ribs around. Take a big breath in, big breath out. 1 more inhale. Exhale. Press away from the floor. Rock back through your side bend. Big inhale, big exhale. So now I'm going to try to get that butt down again. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to come up to sit. We're going to take it over to the other side. Here's the counter stretch. Inhale, exhale. Take that top hand as you rotate it around. Ooh, try to pull those ribs through. Big breath in, big breath out. Back to the side bend and up to sit. We're going to take that back leg. If you want to do this, you can. You don't have to. We're going to take that back leg and we're going to try to hover it up. We're going to try to reach through that leg and bring it around. We're going to take this leg and bring it around ninja style. And then we're going to lie down on our side. So really, we're just messing with it, guys. All right. We're back. I'm gonna take a big breath in, big breath out. Foot, roughly the ball of your foot. We're gonna start with that 90-90. Back of the skull, the back of the ribs, the back of the sacrum. 90 degrees, 90 degrees. Bottom arm can hold the band, or you can loop it. I'm gonna take a big breath in, big breath out. That inner thigh hugs us into the back of the hip. So I can reach my hip and I can reach my inner thigh at the same time. So I'm finding balance. If everything's doing the things, the front and the back are working, the inner and the outer are working, and we find our hover. And we lower a little and we lift a little. And we lower a little and we lift. And here's 3. And 4. And 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. We hold. Press it out for 8. And in. Like doing a little countdown. 7. 6. I'm trying to do this without arching my back. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Hold. Externally rotate. Bend the knee towards your armpit. We do 6 of these. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bring the leg back to parallel. Bend that knee in. We're going to externally rotate to bring that foot to the mat. This might give you a great big stretch in your tush. Feel free to play with it if you need a minute. Big breath in, big breath out. All right, so this bottom leg is going to straighten out, and I'm going to move it on a little bit of a diagonal. And then take an inhale, exhale. We're going to lift up through that bottom leg and a little lower. And I'm going to try to do it without too much extraneous movement in my spine. Right, so that I'm not like sinking back to lift. I'm just trying to lift a little, lower a little. Lift a little, lower a little. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. We do 8 circles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Big breath in, big breath out. You can let go of that top leg business. Reach it on top of that bottom leg business. Take a big breath in, big breath out. We're going to lift both legs up. Little left. Beautiful. We're going to scissor the legs. Little scissor. Little scissor. Little scissor. Little scissor. And 3, 4, 5, and 6. Take the top leg back, the bottom leg forward, lower them down. You can bend the knees, use your bottom hand, press yourself up to sit. And then again, we're going to try to get that bottom butt down. I need a little help. I'm going to use a yoga brick. You feel free, adjust as needed. Take an inhale, exhale. We're going to go up and over. And I'm going to try to keep driving this butt down and lift my ribs up and away and create space between those bones. Big breath in, big breath out. Coming back through center, anchoring down through that as much as I can and go up and over to the other side. Big inhale. Big exhale. Coming back and through, we're going to go up and over to that first side. And then as I take the top hand down to take my rotation, now this hip could come up and rotate around. And take a big breath in, big breath out. Bend your elbows as low as you want to go. Find a little stretch. Big breath in. Big breath out. I'm going to press back through, come back to that side bend. We're still going to try to get down into that hip. Inhale, exhale. We're going to go up and over. Find the counter stretch. Inhale, exhale, counter twist. Pull those ribs around to the best of your ability. Bringing out your guts. Big inhale, big exhale. Bringing it back through the side bend and to sit. Maybe if you want to play with finding this back leg lifting up, straightening it out and bringing it around if you want to, because it's fun. And if you're like, screw you, I don't want to do it, don't do it. We're going to bring ourselves to sit with our legs long on the mat. Lola, here's your ball. I do not want it. All right, so we're going to take a big breath in, big breath out. Legs are long, but knees can legit be bent. Get up on top of those sitting bones and take a big inhale, big exhale. Two options. If you like rolling back through the spine, you're going to roll back halfway. If you like to flat back, you're going to flat back. You have all the options in the world. Inhale to prepare, exhale, spinal movement of choice. Take it back a couple of inches until it feels like work. And take an inhale, exhale. We're going to spiral the chest open. It doesn't have to be crazy. Doesn't have to be all the way. Maybe it's just a little. And then we close it up. Inhale, exhale. We spiral open in the other direction. And back to center. Inhale, exhale. Spiraling through that rib cage. And back. Inhale, exhale. Spiraling. And back. Last one. Last set. One side. And the other side. Bring it back through center. Take an inhale, exhale, come back up onto your sitting bones. Inhale, exhale, options. Roll down in any way you desire. And if you hate a roll down, just lie down on your back. Inhale, exhale. If you'd like to take it full roll down, great. You could also lever until you meet the point when you need to roll down. You can also just roll onto your side and come all the way down onto your back. When you get down at the bottom, pause for a minute and reach your arms overhead. Reach your heels, maybe even like walk them down your mat a little bit, and then glide your pubic bone up just the tiniest bit. Reaching overhead, reaching down the mat, anchoring through the center. We're going to hold this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just let it go. Let everything relax. If you want to bend your knees because that feels good for your back, do that. If having your limbs long feel good, do that. And just take a minute here. Bring your hands onto your belly for hips or ribs, but just somewhere that you can feel your breath moving. As you inhale, feel your whole body just kind of spreading across your mat a little bit. Getting wider. And then as you exhale, feeling your guts kind of wrap back towards your spine, blending some internal support. And inhale, expansion, exhale, connection. One more, inhale, exhale. And you guys are cooked. Happy Monday. Thanks for coming to class. If anybody has any questions, we can take a few minutes after. Otherwise, enjoy the beautiful week ahead. And some of you I will see this week in person. And I hope I see everybody else next week.
Thank you. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you, Claire.
My pleasure.
Thanks,
Bye.
See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Claire.